This is the Glass Cannon Network.
The gates to the realms of the dead have been shattered, and that means you've just tuned into Haunted City here on the Glass Cannon Network. This is a show where we play Blades in the Dark, the incredible role-playing game by John Harper and Evil Hat Studios. I am your game master. My name is Jared Logan, and with me I have my always stellar crew of scoundrels, Josephine, McAdam, Salim, and Ross Bryant. Hello, guys. Welcome back.
Thank you.
Hello.
So we have a little downtime on the docket for today, but first let's look back at last week and talk about
Debrief, yeah.
What had happened there.
If memory serves, it was a total non-fiasco and everybody did great and walked away fine.
Right. Yeah, we're alive. So in the city of Duskval, that's
great. I came away richer.
Incredible.
Yeah.
True.
Everything's coming up, Chuck.
Things came up, Chuck. A demon was dealt with. 2 demons were actually negotiated with in various ways. An entire cadre of bluecoats and a famed and celebrated inspector were murdered by your crew. It was the classic Remnant chaos. This crew, the Remnant, seemed to create lots of chaos, and I'm here for it. I love it.
And what it was? It was strange, which is great. That's our reputation. I'm just saying it was strange. It was a good time, and
we're just leaning into our brand, baby. This is all about brand building.
Branding.
I was just happy that Josephine remembered that you can use flashbacks and used them in a really creative and excellent way during that score. I mean, we also talked about at one point Juliet could have been, Juliet was sort of possessed by a demonic force. She could have resisted that consequence. Josephine, I'm just going to ask, just for the viewers and listeners, why did you decide not to?
Because Juliet thought it was Ophelia. By all means, in front of her was her deceased partner. Her vice was before, literally, what else? She wouldn't have resisted. She would have let her take over, which is what is dangerous in everything that we're dealing with and our long-term project is that 100% Juliet would let her take over.
Right. Okay. So playing your character, and I mean, I wish... probably we will find a way to give you extra XP for that kind of commitment to your character. That's perfect segue. Why don't we get right into today's downtime? But before we do that, this used to be a land of beauty and magic, but 1,000 years ago, a cataclysm ripped open the gates to the land of the dead. The city of Duskval is a metropolis of refineries and factories and tenements, surrounded by crackling lightning barriers that keep out the ravening hordes of ghosts and the undead. Outside the city is a wasteland of death. Inside is a teeming hive of scum and villainy, intrigue and corruption. Life is cheap in a city ruled by death. The sun is gone. The only thing that shines in Duskval are the blades in the dark. And let's look at XP. I think we should start with individual XP. And since we were already talking to Juliet, let's talk to Josephine. So, bringing up your character sheet here, and I'm looking at your XP. First of all, how many? You had a couple desperate actions, right?
I think I ended up having 3 desperate actions. 2 of them were in wrecking, and 1 of them was while tinkering. So yeah. I took 2 in prowess, 1 in insight.
So none of those are full yet. No. None of those XP trackers beside the attributes are full yet, but you got some points in them. Let's look at your playbook advancement. So it says you addressed a challenge with technical skill or mayhem.
I mean, I think both happened, right? Mayhem and technical skill?
Yes, take 2. Yeah, if something happens more than once, you can mark it twice.
Fantastic.
And then You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. We just talked about how that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
When confronted by your dead lover in the form of a demon, or rather a demon in the form of your dead lover, you leaned way into that experience. And I think that definitely reflects your drives and your heritage.
Oh, I am going to put this XP into prowess instead. I'm going to take these two. Yeah, instead of putting them in the playbook. Oh my gosh, if I can. I'm going to put all of these 3 into prowess.
So you can actually choose. That's amazing.
Yes, it's something that's always been possible. We just didn't choose to do it until now.
Yes.
So
of course,
yes,
Abu.
So yes, you've taken the 3 playbook XP, the challenges addressed by technical skill and mayhem, and expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, and you've put them into prowess, and you've now filled up your prowess XP meter. And where is that dot going to go? You've earned yourself a dot.
That dot, I think logically should go into rec.
Okay, yeah, I mean, makes sense. That's what you were doing a lot of last time.
A lot of it.
And then that XP disappears in the XP tracker.
Yes.
It has been consumed. Very good. And you still have one final playbook trigger here. You struggled with issues from your vice or traumas. So your vice is obligation, and it is to your dead lover. And so you've doubled up here. That did kind of rear its head in your experiences. So you can take an XP for that, for sure.
I suppose I'll put that into playbook. So when playbook advancement fills, and what happens there is that we would get another special ability, correct?
That's correct.
If we do that, okay. Yeah, I'll put it in here. Yeah. Okay.
Very good. So yeah, I mean, it was a tough score.
Yeah.
I can see that your stress is almost completely filled as well.
My stress is a mess. And
you've got your cut. You have a flesh wound from a gun, and you have a broken ribs harm. You have 3 harms. Boy, this is an important downtime for you. Go ahead and clear all of the equipment from your loadout, and we will get into downtime with Juliet in just a moment. But now I'm going to talk to Celiac Khan. Celiac.
Oh boy.
What you gonna do, Celiac? What you gonna do, huh?
Celiac. So Celiac,
what you gonna do?
I
did some things.
You did some things.
Show
me what you did in your. Oh wow, you filled a tracker.
I basically only did desperate actions, desperate actions of attunement, consort, and sway last time. So my resolve tracker had already had some pips in it, but I filled it up but good. And I even went over, I think, the amount that the tracker can even contain.
Wow.
But yeah, so I think there should, if there was room, there'd be like another little mark next to resolve there.
Interesting.
I don't know how that plays out, but
so that is an interesting question, and I'm sure everyone will let me know their opinion out there in the internet. But what I'm going to rule is, for simplicity of bookkeeping, once it's filled, it's just filled. So you don't actually get spillover.
I don't get overflow. Okay.
Yeah, you don't get overflow.
Right.
So, but where is that full XP tracker? What are you going to convert that into a dot of?
Seeing as this occultist ability of mine really only works in concert with consort, I figure I should have at least a pip. So I'll drop that in consort, seeing as I probably one of the most important aspects of the last session was attempting to seek communion with these various elemental forces that Celiac is so connected to.
You're so strong in that first column. I feel like when it comes to resisting, Celiac's got a lot more on us, to be honest.
I really went for the spread this time rather than specialization. So it helps on the back end, but when you do things, ooh boy.
You are able to resist really well. You have 3 insight, 2 prowess, and 3 resolve. So good at resisting. You should use resisting more often.
I should.
Remember, almost anything I can tell you happens to your character, you can go, nah, no, it doesn't, and just take stress and resist.
I would have done that when I was getting crushed by those cables, but then of course there is my full stress bar.
Oh yeah. It is one away from a trauma. You're right.
That's right.
And you already have a trauma. You're already haunted.
Yes, sir. Speaking of which, I think I struggled with issues from my vice and or trauma, seeing as my vice is religious ecstasy, and I was like engaging
trying to worship these things the whole time.
I was literally trying to worship both of them, or use the language of supplication and abjection to make appeals to them.
Very good. Yeah, go ahead and give yourself an XP for that, for sure. Let's go from the bottom up. You expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background. Certainly you did that as well.
Yeah, and address challenge with knowledge or arcane power. I think that was almost everything I did.
Yep.
So I think that's maybe 2 pips for that, because I did it multiple times.
Yeah, I'll allow 2 pips for that, right. And so now you've half filled your playbook advancement tracker. Do you want any of that to go into... You already filled an attribute tracker. Do you want any of that to go into attributes instead?
Gosh, I think I do actually. I might throw all 4 of those into prowess.
Oh, and fill that up.
It's not yet full, but
it's not yet filled, but it could be very soon.
It's getting darn close.
Wow. Okay, so one more XP, one more desperate prowess action, and you'll have another dot somewhere in prowess. That's amazing. All right. You also are quite hurt. You have a level 2 zoned out harm, a level 2 broken ribs harm, and a level 1 shaken harm. A lot of psychological trauma has occurred.
Celiac's brain has been kind of reduced to a gel over the past couple scores. So yeah, he needs some spiritual healing and also physical healing. What with his shattered ribs?
It's dribbling out his ears, his brain. Well, good luck to him. He's going to have a chance to heal up here in a minute. We'll see how he does. Now, we're going to look at Chuck, because he's the one that participated last time. Chuck.
So I didn't roll any desperate actions.
Right, yeah. A lot of what you were doing was actually the opposite. It was kind of controlled. Yeah.
However, I did address challenges with both tracking and violence.
Yes, you did. Take an XP for that.
Right.
Express my beliefs, drives, nope, nothing of that sort.
I don't think
However, I did struggle with a vice.
You demanded money.
I demanded money.
Yeah, you extorted money
life
from
of
your
luxury.
From your crew.
From your buddies.
From my own people.
Yes. He takes 1 XP for that, I think, because he didn't do it multiple times.
It was just once. So that's 3.
3 altogether, yeah.
Nice.
Well, I think it would be 2 XP altogether. 1 for tracking and violence, 1 for struggle with issues.
It was both, but I did track and I did use violence. So that was 2, right?
I'll allow it. Yes. Okay, 3 altogether.
1 was information gathering. Yeah.
Do you want any of those XP to go into one of your attribute markers, or are you going for another special ability?
I think I'm going to go for another special ability. So
okay, great. And now I come to the point where I ask you: are you playing Chuck or Valkos in today's downtime?
Can you roll for me, DM?
Oh,
I can.
Wow.
So I can, and what I would roll is I guess I'll say 4, 5, 6. You play Chuck.
Okay.
1, 2, 3. You play Valkos. It's just a straight up fortune roll, and it's a 1. Valkos is back.
Valkos is back, baby.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Now Valkos, just to review where he's at. We bring up Valkos. Valkos has now 0 stress. He has cleared all of his stress. That's already been done. He gets no new XP, but he has half filled his playbook advancement with XP, and right now he has no dots in the XP trackers for his attributes. So Valkos is going to return, and you know what? I think that's a great way to start off today's session. You guys return from Sawtooth. Oh no! Actually, we need to roll that as downtime activities, don't we?
Yeah.
Actually, let's do that first. That's where we left the cliffhanger was with Sawtooth. So why don't we try that?
And may I suggest may I go first? Because I also think that I think that I would have a better role than Sawtooth in Physiker, because I took the Physiker ability in helping Celiac. Unless Sawtooth has somehow been upgraded since last time, but from what I remember...
No, Sawtooth isn't the best. He's not the best. You know what? Before we get into that, we should do Payoff and Heat.
Oh no, yeah.
That's my fault. I keep trying to jump ahead.
Yes.
So first of all...
Okay, let's do it because I've got some thoughts.
Oh, great.
Wow.
Okay.
Oh man.
Here
I
we
wonder
go.
what sort of heat you generate by killing half the police force. But who saw us, though?
It's a great
No
question.
witnesses.
You don't
Crow's
get
Veil.
additional heat for murder because you took Crow's Veil. So there is that. You've taken the Crow's Veil, so you won't get additional heat for murder. Let's first just do the payoff. The payoff, as you all saw, there was no monetary payoff, but you do get rep. You earn 2 rep by default, and if the target of the score is higher tier than you, take +1 rep per higher tier.
Wow.
I'm going to say that we're going to call the blue coats the higher tier. I'm not going to count the demons specifically as the tier that you were, because you were targeting the blue coats. So you get 2 rep, and then plus they were 2 tier higher than you, so you get 4 rep altogether. If you can fill up this tracker, your hold on tier 1 will become strong. But I think we can agree after that last score, perhaps your hold is not that strong yet. You need to come into your own a little more, and then you'll get there.
Yeah.
So that is the rep. There is no coin because technically it wasn't specifically successful. And now we can come to heat. Oh boy. Okay. Well, add +1 heat for a high profile or well-connected target. I gotta say, Inspector Kinklaith was that.
Oh yeah.
Add +1 heat if the situation happened on hostile turf. No.
We were
Add
in 6
+1
towers,
heat.
right?
Yeah. Add +1 heat if you're at war with another faction. No. Add +2 heat if killing was involved, but you have Crow's Veil. So the only bonus is +1 heat. Is it contained in standard exposure or loud and chaotic high exposure? Guys, I would almost call it contained, except that you killed a bunch of police officers. You killed a bunch of blue coats. That to me is kind of loud and chaotic. So I'm going to say that it is 4 heat +1 heat for Inspector Kinklaith. 5 heat altogether. You started with 1 heat already.
Holy
so you are now up to 6 heat.
Oh my.
I hope someone can use a downtime activity to reduce heat. And speaking of downtime activities, now... Oh, wait, we have to do entanglements. Have I ever run this game before?
Do we get a crew advancement, though?
Oh, yeah, we should do the XP for the crew.
Yeah, man, come on.
Yeah.
Of course.
Most importantly.
Why are you trying to punish us straight away?
Yeah,
I
one
really-
hand's got to give,
I
a hand's got
really-
to take
I'm-
away.
He wants us
I'm
to
really
hurt.
getting ahead of myself. Okay. Have you executed a successful burglary espionage... executed a successful burglary, espionage, robbery, or sabotage operation? No, you didn't. You didn't burgle them. You didn't spy. Well, I mean,
We
someone
took the charm, even though it was broken.
Listen, I don't know what you're chatting about, man. We failed that mission. Like, we failed it.
Okay, fine.
You
Okay, fine.
destroyed
Moving
the
There's
job.
no failure. If there's no failure, success will never be sweet.
Right.
Did you contend with challenges above your current station? You certainly did, and
Absolutely.
I'm going to give you 2 because both the blue coats and the demons
Demons.
were above your station. Did you bolster your crew's reputation or develop a new one? I don't know that you did do that. I think that you were kind of just doing that to kind of keep yourselves from getting
Yeah,
murdered
Isn't
that's
our
by a
true,
demon.
reputation
That's very true.
strange?
Your reputation
Doesn't it have to
is
do with
strange,
the reputation?
But I think that
Oh.
expresses the goals, drives, inner conflict, or
Oh.
essential nature of the crew. So I'm going to give you the
I see.
XP for that. So you
see.
have 4 XP in your crew XP filled in there. I'm being asked to look at Crow's Veil to make sure that it saves you from the extra heat given to you for murdering. Let me take a look here. It's an
Who's
assassin's
asking you?
special
Who's
ability.
asking?
Yeah.
We have people that keep an eye on things like this. So let's see here. Special abilities. Crow's Veil. Due to hard-won experience or occult rituals, you don't take extra heat when killing is involved on a score. So we did that correctly.
That's right.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So well done, everybody. You've got you earned a lot of XP at least for your crew.
Yeah.
But now we have to do our entanglements. Now we have to see what the fallout is from all of this. You have currently 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 heat,
But no wanted, right?
but no wanted level. So that means for entanglements, I'm rolling 2 dice and taking the lower because you still don't have a wanted level. But your heat is 6+. Okay, here we go. You know, this entanglement could get really sticky because
Yeah.
you've killed blue coats. Here we go. Okay. I think that one of you gets interrogated again. Yeah. And I'm going to decide who by rolling a die.
Are you? Is it Chuck or Valkos that's in the mix?
Chuck was on the job, so it's Chuck is the one who's up for this. 1 to 2, it'll be Celiac. 3 to 4, it will be Juliet, and 5, 6, it will be Chuck. Ready? 3, Juliet. Were you the one that got
come
picked up
on.
last time?
Why
Yes.
is it always me?
Okay. The Blue Coats round up one of the PCs to question them about the crew's crimes.
No.
How did they manage to capture you? Can you answer that question? How did they manage to capture you? They find you at the
I was probably
local.
hanging out at the Miss Shore Park where the thing is because that's where Ophelia's shrine is.
That's right. You're in Miss Shore all the time, and so when
Yeah.
they knew that you're a suspicious character there. You can either pay them off with 3 coin that you don't have,
We don't have 3 coin.
or they beat you up level 2 harm, or you tell them what they want to know plus 3 heat, and you can resist each of those consequences.
Wait. Okay, so I can pick a consequence and then resist it,
Yep.
and therefore become traumatized because I have no stress. But you know what? It might be better than. Okay, so options are gain 3 heat,
Get beaten
Gain
up.
3 heat, or you can
and when I resist, does that
take
mean
a level
it-
2 harm, or you can pay them off with 3 coin, but you don't have that.
Yeah. So if I choose, I say we'll take the heat, but then I resist it, that doesn't happen
That's correct.
at all.
That's correct. It seems counterintuitive, but
Okay.
you can resist almost any consequence in the game, and it says specifically that these consequences can be resisted.
Okay.
Can't you just get beaten up and take
I think it depends on the roll, right? The entanglement roll, or
No, you can choose right now. Do you get beaten up and take a level 2 harm that you can then resist?
I already have. Oh man. Yeah, I'll get beaten up. This is old hat, and I'm gonna resist it.
Okay.
This is what Juliet does. She's done it
This is-
before.
This is it, man. This is the trauma, man. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so how many okay, you only need to get 1 stress and you'll take a trauma.
Yeah.
Oh, that's really nasty. So
Yeah.
you have to roll a 6 on this resistance roll. I'm going to say you have to resist this with resolve because you're trying to not talk. So that
Fair.
gives you 1 die. You have a level 2 harm coming to you, but you've just converted that into 6 stress, which will be reduced by this roll. Go ahead and roll, Juliet.
Oh, you absolute! Oh my god! A 6.
I rolled a
Oh my
6.
god!
I told
You
you.
rolled
This
a
is just how it
6.
goes.
You're fantastic at this. You're fantastic at interrogations.
Widow.
I think last time I was interrogated, it was a 6 as well. Yeah.
You take no additional stress, and you successfully get through the interrogation, the beating, without telling them anything. Wow, you are... Man, no one can interrogate you.
Being interrogated by a blue coat is nothing in comparison to having a demon infect my soul and take over my body. So
That's very true.
This is true. Okay, so now that we have done entanglements, we can finally move on to the thing I kept trying to start earlier, which is our downtime activities. I'm not going to have Valkos return quite yet. I think that since we ended the last session with you guys falling into Sawtooth's studio, then that is where we will pick up in the clinic, because I'm assuming my friends Celiac and Juliet probably want to do a little recovering, right?
Yeah.
yes.
Okay. So Sawtooth is now level 1. He's not as bad as he used to be back when you were tier 0. He's now tier 1, which means he rolls one die, and then if he rolls a 1 to 3, you get 1 segment of your healing clock. If he rolls a 4 to 5, you get 2 segments. A 6, he gets 3 segments. Because he's only rolling 1 die, he can never give you a critical, which would give you 5 segments filled.
But because I have Physiker, everyone in our crew gets +1 die to healing treatment rolls.
Aha! So, would you like for Sawtooth to try to patch you up now, Juliet?
Yes. And then, yeah. Let's do me first, and then I'll ask you how this ability works as well.
Okay. Now, listen to this. You can also spend, you have only 1 coin. Your entire crew has only 1 coin right now, but you could spend 1 coin to improve a result as well. I just want you to know that that option is out there.
I think if we spend that coin, it should be for another downtime activity, right? Or wait, is that...
That's another way you can spend coin. That's correct.
I think we should do it that way instead.
Okay, I want you to roll so that no one gets mad at me. That's maybe I've had Sawtooth roll before, but I want you to roll. So you're going to roll 2 dice here.
I was going to say, what happens with a trauma, by the way? When you have a trauma, what does it, do?
Well, if you get too many traumas, your character is no longer playable.
Right, okay.
And you get a trauma anytime you fill your stress meter, so you don't want that to happen.
Okay.
So how do I just roll 2 dice without?
Actually,
I could just pick an ability that has 2 pips in it. Yeah,
just pick an ability that has 2 pips.
Okay.
Whatever. I want you to roll it because I don't want to. If I roll 2 1s, I don't want everybody to be mad at me.
Never let it.
Just want us to be mad at Josephine.
So
Position doesn't matter, and
Okay.
Effect doesn't matter because we're just rolling for a recovery.
Okay. And a 6.
Nice.
Hey,
A
all right.
6. So that means that 3 segments of your healing clock have been filled.
But would it also
1, 2,
count?
3.
Would also the 1 count as 1 as well?
Well, right now the 1 does not count as well. It's only the highest thing that you roll.
Right, I see.
But you could choose to spend 1 coin right now and make that a critical, and then it would fill 5 segments of your healing clock, and you would be completely healed. Now, what does it mean to be completely healed? Well, it doesn't mean that all of your harm goes away. It means all of it moves down 1 tier. So the level 1 harms go away altogether, and the level 2 harms become level 1 harms. I mean, I don't know,
We only have 1
Julia.
coin. Do I want to use y'all's? We only have 1 coin.
I don't know,
Should I
man.
use the coin to make this a critical?
I mean, you could actually. I mean, wouldn't we want to?
Yeah. It's in 2 minds because it's nice to have the extra downtime
Yeah.
activities, but we already have we have scores floating around out there to do, but I mean, yeah, we all have a lot of healing and de-traumatization to do too.
I won't use. But then I'll have to heal again.
Yeah.
Is the thing. Then I would use it. Then I wouldn't be able to de-stress.
How would you crit it with the coin though? You'd still have to roll, right?
No, actually, you can. It says that you can spend 1 coin to just improve the result. So since she rolled a 6, improving the result by 1 level would make it a critical.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
That's
it's a
pretty good.
Nice way to use coin. Yeah.
Because then I could use, another downtime to either de-stress or decrease heat.
Don't worry about
But
that.
I guess. Okay. All right. So then, do we need the other downtime activity? Or should I use this coin?
I mean, looking at mine, I've got to de-stress and heal.
Yeah, I'm going to try and heal you, though.
Oh, okay. But that would be your second and final downtime activity, would it not?
No, actually, it would count as one of yours.
Yeah,
Recovering.
I think I can have a higher pool of dice, is what I'm saying.
Then go for it.
To help you.
It makes sense to me at this moment.
So are you spending that coin?
Yeah.
Oh, I think that was the smart move, to be honest with you. So now your cut and flesh wounds, your harms go away.
Okay.
And your less effect is gone. And your level 2 broken ribs moves down to a level 1. So right now, you have no penalties on your rolling or your effect. You just have one level 1 harm. I think that was very important. Sawtooth goes, "You're welcome, by the way."
Yeah. Okay. So it counted as 5 ticks, though. So is there still one on my clock?
There's one that carries over. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then,
no, I'm afraid not. No. Once you spend them, I don't know why it says 5 segments, but you can't just have a leftover tick on your healing clock.
Because I still have harm. I still have a level 1 harm.
That's a good point. All right, you know what? I'll allow it.
I think if I didn't have harm, that wouldn't make sense. But because I still have broken ribs, right? That's what moved down.
You got
That's
level 1
right.
harms.
You have there. You know what? We're gonna call them. I'm gonna type in bruised ribs now. They're just bruised.
Ugh.
Yeah.
And so, when I wake up, this is what I envision is like, okay, now step aside, and I want to lean over Celiac.
Okay, so you're going to heal him, and what you have done, Juliet, is you've taken the Physiker special ability when you filled your playbook advancement track. You can tinker with bones, blood, bodily humors to treat wounds or stabilize the dying. You may study a malady or corpse. Everyone in your crew gets +1 dice to their healing treatment rolls. And, we hadn't established that Juliet could do this kind of thing before, but I think because she's taken that ability, she can. So she can use her own tinker.
Capital T, so I assume it is that I can use that skill.
Yeah. It says you may heal yourself, but you take 2 stress. Well, you didn't do that. You had Sawtooth do that. No, that's okay.
Yes. Okay.
Can you heal other members of your crew? I'm going to roll yes. You can roll Tinker and give this a shot.
Well, that's why I got it, since it said to treat wounds and stabilize the dying, right?
Yeah, I'm going to allow it. So, Celiac, do you agree to use one of your downtime activities to let Juliet work on you?
Yes, please.
Okay, great. So, Juliet, when you are ready.
And then with a +1 die because that's part of the ability to heal.
Yeah, I guess so. Yep, that's how I read it. So you're rolling 4 dice here. Very good dice pool. And look, if the healing process in Blades in the Dark wasn't so punishing anyway, I probably wouldn't allow all of this stuff. But I think we're actually reading according to the letter of the rules anyway.
Yeah, I think that's what it... because Physiker, that's what you do, right? Yeah. That's what a Physiker is.
Apple would be proud.
That's right. Mm-hmm. All right, so 4 dice. Here we go.
Okay. All right, there's a 5 in there.
Yeah.
There's a 5.
There's a 5.
The 5 is the best, so the 5 gives you 2 segments of your healing clock.
Oh, man.
Because 4 dice.
We may be rolling up a new character for Ross Bryant before the next score.
Might be, because I'm jacked up. Because now I'm in a position where
stress
I'm
or healing.
Still severely hurt. I've only got 1 downtime activity left, and my stress bar is almost completely filled, and I'm also hurt, so I'd have to choose one or the other. And either case leaves me very fragile going into the next score.
Could I use my second downtime activity to heal him?
Oh, no. No, because recovering is something you choose to do as your downtime activity.
You're also very stressed.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Exactly.
I know, but I don't have trauma. He does. That's why I was gonna.
You're both very stressed. Everyone is very stressed.
Everyone's stressed. Okay.
Look, everybody is stressed out. It's not easy to make these decisions, and it's really not easy to adjudicate this game. So everybody, back the fuck off. Okay. I know that seems weird or counterintuitive.
No. It makes sense.
But I think that what we'll have to have Perhaps this is the way to go. Celiac needs to decide to recover a second time in order to get the benefits of your healing again.
Right. Okay.
Are we going to do that,
I just want to say, buddy, like, remember when Valkos was like super stressed in the last score?
Right.
And he cleared that score without getting any stress, and you ended up getting like full stress? I'm just saying it's possible, okay? Possible.
You don't get any like bonus die. You know, you can't really push yourself when you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's true. Stress isn't. I think wounds hurt you more than the stress.
Yeah, because you get less effect on the rolls that you do.
Right.
Especially Celiac, because right now Celiac has 2 level 2 harms, which means he has -1 die to every roll he makes right now.
I'd be very, very bad off. It just no stress to spare means I can't push, I can't flash back, but I can assist.
You can roll, man.
Right.
You can roll.
Yeah. I think I think it only makes sense, really, to go for the more healing.
Do you want to roll it this time so that I also do not feel
Don't feel
the
bad.
blame?
This is great. I love this. This
Great,
is fantastic.
It'd be 4 die.
Four dice.
Here we go.
Okay.
We're trying to heal him again.
Okay. So here we go. I'll just pick a thing with
Yeah.
some die, standard, add 2, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
4 total, yeah.
Oh, you legend.
Yes. Exactly.
Crit.
Yes.
So, your shaken harm goes away. Your zoned out and broken ribs become level 1 harms. Oh God, you still have less effect.
That's right. I know.
But you got it carries over though, right? So you've now got 3.
I got
on the
3 to
had
spare,
2.
right?
What does the critical give you?
5.
I'm gonna call so zoned out and broken ribs go down to level 1 and become you still have less effect.
But you are close, my friend. Only one more.
Very close.
I'm getting there.
I think you should think about. I think you should think about doing what Valkos did and taking a score off, which you certainly can.
I actually think I might, and that would mean creating someone else, right?
That's correct.
So maybe circle back to me. I'll start thinking about that.
Okay, great. We'll circle back.
But I think definitely Celiac is just like, thank you. Already I feel the ribs do not pinch so badly as they once did. You're greatly skilled. And then he just faints.
Let's see. You got 5 for that critical, right?
Yeah.
So you already had 2 filled in.
So
1, 2 healed you, and then
So
it clears, and 3 get filled in. 1, 2, 3. So you only need 1 more, and you can get rid of everything. But unfortunately, you guys can't pay for more downtime activities right now.
Yep.
Yeah.
Let's go to the grotto. You drag Celiac back to the grotto.
Wait, yeah, but I'm just bringing Celiac's body there.
Let's think about Chuck.
You said you were playing Valkos this time.
I was, but I've still got to live my Chuck life right now. You know.
Live the Chuck life.
I gotta live the Chuck life.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me what Chuck wants to do for his downtime activity.
Indulging in his vice.
He wants to what?
Indulge in his vice.
What?
And what is Chuck's vice again?
Yep, he is literally living a life of luxury.
Oh, that's right.
He's
He's just
eating.
spending our coin. Chuck could be reducing heat on our crew. Chuck
Hey,
could
give
be
me some
doing.
time. Give me some time. This is my first action, so I'm just eating. Just eating and just.
Oh yeah, he's probably at that really nice restaurant, the Golden Plum in 6 Towers, just enjoying the gourmet food. All right, Chuck, in order to indulge your vice and get rid of all of the stress you have, you need to roll your it's your weakest attribute. So for you, that's resolve. So you're gonna roll 1 die, and we're gonna see how many of these stress you clear.
3.
3 stress are clear.
All right.
I'm clearing them for you. Yeah, you cleared them. Okay, great.
Thank you.
Well done, Chuck. That's one of Chuck's downtime activities. And remember, he has 1 more. But now I want to see the return of Valkos. I want to see what happens when he comes back to the grotto. I want to see how people greet him or what he thinks of what has happened.
Cool. All you see is just Valkos, like sitting or like kind of splayed across on the floor, just sitting there, just in his own head, just sort of breathing and just focusing on his own breath. And he just looks up, eyes open, and sees you both. And he can see you dragging Celiac, and he goes to help.
Thank you, my friend.
We're so glad you're back.
What happened?
It is a long story. Let us say that when you involve yourselves in the family squabbles of divine forces, there are consequences that one cannot always predict.
I know. And I kind of help you as I kind of come in as well. And I think I'm just sort of still a bit also in sort of recovering from where I've just been and still a bit phased and dazed, but
I think you lost time again, and I think this time you lost it for, well, let's see. I mean, Chuck was tracking Inspector Kinklaith for the better
6
part
days.
of a week. Yeah. So Valkos lost himself for about a week and then came to in Dunslow, an outlying suburb of Duskval, and managed to walk all the way back into Six Towers. And last time you described yourself, you were missing your shoes. So I think you guys can see that Valkos's boots are missing. He looks like he's been through something himself.
Are you okay?
I'm fine.
Where have you... You don't need to answer.
Just trust me when I say I'm fine.
And I think just with a very like, you can see it like hurts to just move like a little bit, like reaches up and touches your face, and is. I can see, my friend, that even though you're living, your own spirit clings to you with a tenuous grasp. Meditate on the memories that have the deepest potency to you. Weave the fabric of your soul into the warp and woof of your flesh, or else you will become lost.
Yes. Meditate.
Yes.
Valkos has no stress. Valkos may undergo a downtime activity. Does Valkos have an idea of what he'd like to do?
What can we do again?
Well, there's so many things. Let me list them off for you. He doesn't need to recover, and he doesn't need to indulge his vice. He can acquire an asset, meaning he can acquire something to use on the next score. He could start a long-term project. He could reduce heat, or he could train.
And how does one reduce heat again?
You pick an action, and you tell me how you're doing it. And then you roll to see how much heat you get rid of.
Okay.
And we can presume that we would tell you, I guess, a little more of just like, it's not good. Bluecoats are dead. The detective is dead. They came after me. I'm fine. But they're looking for us.
And tell me, bit of meta, who was there? Who helped you?
This skilled hound, Chuck.
An acquaintance of mine. Yeah. As some hunt game, or the bird of the field, the kine of the forest. He can find you a man or a spirit.
He was strange and greedy.
What do you mean?
Well, just like pull pockets, empty pockets. We're broke, so to speak, right now. We need to pay him.
And you just see me bolt outside. My downtime is going to be it's going to be reducing heat, but in the way of telling everyone that Chuck is our killer. And actually murdered everyone.
Wow.
Excellent. What action are you going to use? What action are you going to use to spread this vicious rumor?
It's going to be I'm gonna use my skirmish, and I'm gonna be like, do you know this man called Chuck? This man Chuck, he helped, he did this, and I'm gonna beat people, the name into people's face, into their souls, because they're gonna realize, oh my god, this Chuck, we've got to find him, we've got to get rid of him. He's caused so much mess, and everyone's gonna talk about him. Do you see what I mean? So
you're beating people up looking for Chuck, and they think we better give this guy up, or Valkos is going to kill us all.
Yeah.
I'll allow it. You guys really like to pick your strongest action, and sometimes you are really, really walking the line.
I can command if you want me to.
I love a command more. That makes more sense.
Let me command.
Okay, great.
What is the input? What is the position?
The position, well, let's see. This is a reduced heat roll, so just call it risky standard.
Okay, risky standard.
I don't think you actually need a position in effect for a reduced heat, but just
5.
There we go. 5. Wow, well done. Let's see.
Yes. With one die too. Nice.
So 4 to 5, you reduce the heat by 2.
Okay. That's fine.
People are looking for Chuck now instead of the remnant, although Chuck is technically part of the remnant. Anyway, it helped reduce the heat by 2.
He was there for one job.
Right.
So
he was like a mercenary that we hired.
You guys are getting rid of him. That's the point.
Oh my God.
The heat is down, and it's looking a little better already. Okay.
And okay, cool. So that's technically 2 downtime activities, right, from my characters, because I did one as Chuck and one as Valkos.
Right, but each character gets 2 activities, not each player.
Oh.
Then I'm gonna then use my. Can I keep reducing the heat?
Yeah. Is that what Valkos wants to do?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna ask him to use a different action though. I think that he used one approach. Now he has to use another, and if that means you need to bring skirmishing in now, I understand.
I'm gonna use finesse.
Oh,
and
okay.
I'm gonna use it to. He's a hound, right? So I'm gonna be finding houndish, like equipment, and place it near the crime scene, and just sort of play and sort of set it about. I'm on a fucking mission now. This is great. I get to fight myself. Okay,
yeah.
Right.
We just watch Abu play against his own character.
Next level of PvP.
Yes. Excellent. Finesse, I agree to allow you to do that, to set up some false evidence at the crime scene, and you may go ahead and roll your finesse, and let's see how it goes.
Let's see if he's actually any good at setting things up rather than beating. Okay, yes. Okay, you got a 6.
There it is. So that 6 means that you, it's not a critical, it's just a 6. You lose 3 more heat.
Just a 6. It's beautiful.
It's great.
It's beautiful. It is beautiful. So that means 3 more heat are gone. Did you hear? I'll remove
good.
them. Looking very well.
And then for Chuck's, can I go to Chuck's downtime ability?
I think we want to find out what happens to Chuck in a little while, if that's okay. I want to go ahead and now turn to only Juliet has a downtime activity left, right?
Mm-hmm. Oh, yes. I guess I should take care of the stress. My stress.
Yes.
In obligation to deceased partner. Would I do anything differently this time? It's like of all the ways that it's such a strange device.
They are combing Miss Shore Park looking for you. So is there something you can do other than crying at her grave? Because that's how you were picked up last time.
I mean, technically, you could have said that version. I mean, again, when they caught you the first time round, that was technically you reducing stress. But no, actually, I quite like the idea of you having to think of something else. This is great.
I like that idea too.
Okay. Let's see. In obligation to her. What if I... Can I do something to Unafaros? Can I do something to
certainly.
Sparkrai? I'm trying to...
Yeah. Well, look, you can't do anything that would require an entire score, but maybe you do something...
No, but can I, like, I don't know, prank her?
Yeah, you could. I mean, something like that might help you.
Yeah, let's I want to see her suffer a little bit. Let's lay some harmless but maybe little like traps outside of her door that she'll have to walk across that just totally like soil her clothes.
Oh, wow. So they're kind of like stink bombs?
Yeah.
Okay, so I love this. So you spend like an entire night setting up these sort of like remote detonator stink bombs like outside the door of her apartments, and then you wait for her to exit to try to get into her carriage, and when she does, they go off. Explain to me what these things are exactly and what happens to her.
I think it's just a perhaps a little tinkering, a little tweak on the or like a smoke bomb of sorts, but instead has like this musk, this odor that clings not just to her clothes but to her skin, and it should smell of death.
Oh,
I love that.
So the death has to follow her in the way that it follows Juliet.
Very good. So I'm actually going to, no matter what, this is going to reduce stress for you.
Okay.
But I'm actually going to do a fortune roll right now for Una to see how well she handles this, meaning she could even avoid it altogether. So the spark rights are level 4, I believe. Let me make sure. I'm going to roll her tier.
Yeah.
Because she's the head of the organization, so it's not just her avoiding this. She has people helping her. So here we go. We're gonna roll for her. And I rolled. You're not gonna believe this. I rolled 4 dice. I rolled a 3, a 2, a 1, and a 2. None of her assistants catch it.
Yes.
She comes out of her apartment one day and is sprayed with this death stench. That clings to her as she has to go to a series of meetings with the city fathers and the different administrators. And she smells of death. And you actually see her like sobbing, or maybe the chemicals are just making her eyes water as she coughs and gets into her carriage, screaming and shouting for her assistants to help her. And she was very controlled last time you saw her, but you see her completely lose her shit like, what is happening? Who has allowed this to happen to me?
Love it. Love that.
Now you may roll your lowest attribute, and that is how much stress you will clear for this.
I guess resolve, lowest attribute.
How many do you have in resolve? 1?
1.
Yes. Okay. This is the amount of stress you'll clear.
Oh my gosh.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
A 6. That's amazing.
6. I mean, that was very satisfying, to be honest, to watch and see unfold. So.
Okay. Excellently done.
Does that mean I clear 6 stress?
Yes. A vice roll is like a resistance roll in reverse. Rather than gaining stress levels, you clear stress levels. The effectiveness of your... So make an attribute roll using your character's lowest attribute rating. Clear stress equal to the highest die result. You clear 6 stress. How many stress did you have?
Wow.
I had 8, and now I have 2.
So you have 2 left over. Yeah, nicely done. That was very satisfying to see that happen to Una Ferris.
Oh, yes. Yeah, and I think Juliet comes back to the grotto full smiles, which is not common.
Yes, and it certainly fulfilled your obligation to your dead lover, whose death you place at Una's feet. But there's 2 stress left because it's never enough, Juliet. It's just never enough. And now, Chuck, if Chuck would like to take a final downtime activity, I'll allow it.
So I'm going to do 2 because I'm going to spend the coin to do an extra one. And you'll see what the extra one is. So the first downtime activity that I am going to do is, again, indulge my vice, because he is just ever eating, ever enjoying luxury. So I'm going to roll.
Okay.
4.
4.
Okay.
So 4. That'll clear 4 of his stress. Eating at the Golden Plum, the finest food in all of Duskval. Yeah.
And the final one is going to be towards a long-time project.
Oh my God. What is Chuck doing?
What long-term project does Chuck have in mind?
Chuck have up his
Oh my
sleeve?
God.
I think the long-term project is to... I think it's almost... The way I'm thinking about it is he's going to form his own little crew. And I think he wants to start building his own little crew.
Rival.
Is that
Outside
possible?
of the remnant.
Outside of the remnant.
Whole rival gang.
Okay, I'm gonna make that a 6-tier clock.
Chuck, you.
Right.
I was trying to get
Fucking
us to
scoundrel.
be at war. Yeah, every time you've asked, are you at war with a rival faction? Abu's been like, oh, but how would we do that? And now
You can.
facilitating it.
Yes.
Okay, I've made a 6-segment clock that I'm gonna call Chuck's Crew.
Chuck's fellas.
It is so funny.
Chucksman.
Yeah, and Chuck's Crew. And let's see, it's time to roll on your long-term project. What action are you using to pull this crew together?
I think to begin with, it would be maybe survey, or maybe hunt. Actually, I'm hunting, and I'm gathering information on the right type of people that I want in this crew.
Survey. Oh, hunting. Okay, I'll allow hunting. So go ahead and roll your hunt, and I will tell you how many segments of this clock are filled.
And it's controlled, right? Or risky?
Yeah, controlled for standard effect. Sure.
Cool.
It's really a long-term project roll, so there are no
2 3s.
Oh, 2
That's right.
3s. So you only have filled 1 segment, Chuck.
Okay.
Only 1 segment.
I mean, he's ambitious, This is great. I love this. This is fantastic.
All right, Chuck's Crew is there on our roll 20 display right under 6 towers. Summon
project?
Ophelia has only 1 pie
I
piece
know.
taken out of it, and so does Chuck's Crew. What will be finished first? So now we've used up all of our downtime activities, and now we must sort of decide what we're going to do next. And what I would like for you to do is, that there were some jobs floating around out there. You can go and look for more jobs, or you can just free play, meaning you can just do something that your character would do, and we'll follow them wherever they go. So there's no reason to feel like you have to immediately jump into discussing what score is next.
I think importantly would be, is Celiac sitting this one out, or is are
That's
you
a
coming
very
with
good
a
point.
new character, or
Yeah, who are you sending our way? Is there going to be a new character?
Yeah, of course.
okay. So I feel like we should know that before.
Yeah.
Why don't we find out who it is, and then we can figure out how to weave them into the game? Does that sound amicable to everybody? Does that sound
Sounds
Yeah,
great.
absolutely.
Okay, so let me bring up a new character, and can be edited and controlled by Ross, Bryant, Josephine. Everybody can kind of look at this character. Okay. And it gave it a weird name. I don't know why. I think it automatically populates the name and has called this character Ekeprag Wodi. Well, that's quite a name. You can name this character whatever you like, but for now,
wait, I don't see this.
Where is it?
Where's
Yeah,
Ekeprag?
Show to everyone.
There it is.
Amazing. Amazing.
Ekeprag Wodi.
Maybe you keep that name, or maybe you change it.
Was that just like pure gibberish? Why did that happen?
I think that the Blades in the Dark Roll20 just sometimes gives it a name, and I forgot to just call it Ross's character number 2.
So that's
It's just so funny.
It's a roll.
Here, wait, I can edit it. I wonder if I can.
name.
I can edit the name. Yeah, I can. I'm gonna call it Ross's character 2.
Ekeprag.
He's called Ekeprag Wodi.
And maybe you'll choose to keep the name Ekeprag Wodi.
Yeah.
Okay, so what playbook are you going to play in the next score?
Okay. I like this kind of doing that because like I can't now tailor make one to one. I think what happens is I want to do a lurk.
A lurk, the people that are the best at being shadows.
We haven't had one in the group. That's
Yes. The lurk. A stealthy infiltrator and burglar is what the lurk is. Okay. And it begins with 1 point of finesse and 2 points of prowl.
Great.
So now let's start by giving this character a name. And remember, Ekeprag Wodi is a possibility. It is on the table.
I mean, I feel like I don't choose this name as much as this name chose us. Let's why would I not do Ekeprag Wodi?
Ekeprag Wodi.
So strange.
I mean, like it's not even. It doesn't even sound like a Blades in the Dark name. It
No, it
sounds
sounds like a captcha.
It does. Okay, and we know that Ekeprag is a lurk. What is? How does? Well, let's start with heritage. What heritage is Ekeprag? Akaros, the Dagger Isles, Eruvia, Severos, Scovlin, or Tykeros?
Ekeprag is Akaros.
Ekeprag Akaros.
So
Ekeprag is Akaros.
Akaros is sort of the place where Duskval is located. It means you're native to these lands.
That's right.
Okay. So wonder what where that weird name comes from. Maybe it'll come out during this character creation process. What is Ekeprag's background? Academic, labor, law, trade, military, noble, or underworld?
I'm gonna go with underworld.
Underworld. It is. So underworld, and what? Give me a detail about that.
I already am kind of formulating an idea of this.
Yeah.
I think this I think Ekeprag works in worked in a Grand Guignol sort of theater, and or like a we think lurk, and we think really like kind of nimble, flexible, acrobatical.
Oh, nice.
So I think that in the sort of like seedy entertainments, the kind of places that would be like alongside pleasure houses, the place where, so imagine like two actual gangsters having a conversation in the foreground while Ekeprag is working a pole in the back.
Brilliant.
And but then like it's like, want to make some extra money, Ekeprag? I got somebody who could, easy mark, who gets drunk every week. If we might have like his pocket pick, you seem like his type. And Ekeprag is the sort of person who could get close to you and pick your pocket and you'd never know.
Oh man.
You know what it sounds like? It sounds like his name is backwards. Like maybe it's supposed to be
Yeah.
Idel Garpeek?
Garpeek.
Yeah, much better.
Yeah, that makes sense now.
Oh, yes.
It just sounds like a name that's being said backwards.
Hey,
We're going to find
Ekeprag.
out more about Ekeprag when we come back. We're going to take a short ad break and we're going to finish creating this character that will go on the next score. So come back to us after listening to these sponsors. Welcome back, scoundrels. We're in the middle of the character creation process, which is always happening when you play Blades in the Dark, because this game fucks up your character in the best way. So let's look back at the character sheet for our new lurk, whom Roll20 decided the name of for us. His name is Ekeprag Wodi, which, as Ross said, sounds like a CAPTCHA. We know that he used to work at a Grand Guignol theater. I need one detail about his Akarosi heritage as well. What can you tell me about his time in Akaros, his family, his role in this society?
Here's where I think the name comes in. That Ekeprag has some Tykeros heritage.
Right.
And that's where the name sounds kind of rings strangely on the ear of locals. And maybe he's like far enough removed, like it's like great grandmother was a Tykeros immigrant, and so the features that are incredibly pronounced in Celiac are minuscule to the point of being not too noticeable in Ekeprag. I'll keep saying it until it sounds normal. Never.
Okay, I love that. I love that. So, but you're about to describe his look a little bit. So tell me about how Ekeprag looks.
So vis-a-vis that, it's like so there is some like maybe like show folk connections in the family. I'm almost thinking of like itinerant performers who maybe would set up a eerie entertainment kind of place. Yeah, like
something wicked this way comes.
Exactly.
Creepy carnival. Yeah,
creepy carnival folk, and that's his background, and yeah, and the look is like small and but very like sinewy and
yeah,
you know, the type of person that can like pop into a really slow handstand and slide in a slow spin down a pole. And
all right, I have that he is small and sinewy. What is his vice? Faith, gambling, luxury, obligation, pleasure, stupor, or weird?
Pleasure.
Yeah.
That usually means sex. But maybe it means something. Maybe it means something else to you.
Say it like that.
Exactly.
Sex, baby, sex.
It's the way you lend in. You're like, sex.
People tune in to Haunted City on the Glass Cannon Network to hear my verbose and detailed descriptions of copulation.
Yeah. I just
we have a character
Which
that can provide
has
them.
happened more than one.
Look, I realized that I realized that over the course of 2 games over a couple weeks, I used the phrase unerotic. So fuck that. Ekeprag Wodi is very erotic.
Yes.
Very good.
Let's go.
So should I say pleasure and he likes sex?
Yeah.
Yeah, nothing
But
wrong
no,
with that.
ain't
We're
nothing
sex
wrong with
positive here. Okay. Let's now, I think now we can move to his action dots. He starts with 1 in finesse, 2 in prowl. He needs an action dot that connects to his heritage, his Akarosi heritage, some Tykerosi blood. He's a Carney.
That sounds like sway to me.
Sway.
You can pitch. You can pitch, you can persuade, you can cajole.
Okay, I'll pop the dot in there.
Step right up and see the show.
And then he needs something connected to his underworld background in this theater where he has kind of found himself working most of his life.
I think I might throw in I think there's a case to be made for a like searchy, like maybe survey.
Yeah, well, they said that the theater is really just a way to bilk these guys out of their
Right.
pocketbooks. So,
Exactly.
yeah, you look for marks.
You can spot marks. You can see who's dangerous, who's intoxicated, who's going to be a problem, who's going to be a pushover.
Great. And so now he gets 2 more dots that can go anywhere you want.
Great. And as a member of the Remnant, I also get those extra things for everyone he
yes.
steals, right?
That's
And
right.
yes,
You
which
get
is
1 more
improv,
dot.
finesse, or tinker.
Yes.
I think I get 2 extra dots. I'll do consort, and I will add another to finesse.
Lovely. Okay, yeah. And now,
Nice.
Ekeprag, I'm just going to really quickly make sure we know what everyone steals gives you. Looking it up here.
I think is that what you added already or no?
I have not added it yet. Yeah.
Yes, I'm sorry. Abu had it completely correct. Prowl, finesse, or tinker. You can add +1 more to prowl, finesse, or tinker. Which one are you going to choose?
I will. I described this guy as an acrobat, so let's go all out in finesse.
That makes sense.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm
Yeah.
afraid he already has. Doesn't he already have 3 finesse? Or you just put it
no,
in?
I just dropped it in.
Yes.
So
Okay. No problem. He has 3 finesse now. Wow. Okay. And now we need to choose a special ability for him. And these are the special abilities on offer. Infiltrator. You are not affected by the quality or tier when you bypass security measures. Interesting. So if there was a tier 4 building, your character wouldn't have reduced to nothing effect. You could still get in. Ambush. When you attack from hiding or spring a trap, you get +1 die. Daredevil. When you roll a desperate action, you get +1 die to your roll. If you also take -1 die to any resistance rolls against the consequences. I love that.
yeah.
The
It's
Devil's
like a devil's
Footsteps.
bargain.
It is. It's kind of like a Devil's Bargain that's just sort of on all the time.
Die, yeah.
The Devil's Footsteps. When you push yourself, choose one of the following additional benefits. Perform a feat of athletics that verges on superhuman. Maneuver to confuse your enemies so they mistakenly attack each other. Interesting.
That's ridiculous.
Wow.
I kind of love that.
There are a lot
Wow.
more.
There are a lot
There are
more.
so many more.
The
but
shadow is cool too. Expend a special armor, and that would be just the armor on the loadout, right?
that's
Yes.
correct. Or you'll get special armor, yeah.
Yeah.
Shadow, you may expend your special armor to resist a consequence from detection or security measures, or to push yourself for a feat of athletics or stealth. Yeah.
Also- seems super useful. But man, I like that Devil's Footsteps one so much. I'm going to do that one.
Okay,
Fun.
so
when I push
Devil's
myself-
Footsteps.
I can it's akin to that not to be trifled with thing for the cutter.
Cutter.
Where you push yourself, you basically
Yeah.
can do something that verges
Yeah.
on superhuman. And in this case, it's athletic or confusing, which is interesting.
All right, so here we have him. He is Ekeprag Wodi. He has some Tycherosi blood. He was part of a family of traveling carnies. He eventually settled down as an underworld type in a Grand Guignol theater here in Duskval, bilking theater patrons out of their money, finding marks and taking advantage of them.
Oh,
Yes.
I assume? I feel like this is the type of theater that perhaps Ophelia and Juliet had gone to enjoy in the past. Had perhaps been marks, had lost money going, and perhaps we always knew that we would lose money going, but we always enjoyed the show, and I feel like that might be a good connection to Ekeprag now. In the position that Juliet is in now, of someone that would be a good contact to bring in.
I think so too. That sounds perfect.
Great. So you were a regular.
Haven't been back alone though.
So let's do a little free play, and people tell me, look, there were 2 jobs floating around out there. One was for the Foundation. Celiac kind of set it up. You could still go on that job. It's finding a secret entrance into Rowan House. If you wanted to find out more about the job, like exactly how much coin you'd earn from it or something like that, we could kind of set that up for you. There was also the idea of taking out Flint, who's sort of been providing your patron, the Path of Echoes, with spirits, and you were going to take him out and take over his operation.
I believe both of those jobs were not monetary. I think they were Flint's was for informants, and then the other one was for secret maps, underground passages.
Yeah, now everything might come with like a little extra bonus coin that you're not expecting. So just because I don't necessarily go, and it's worth exactly 6 coin, that doesn't mean that there won't be any coin at all. Okay. But I also see where I think you're going, Josephine, which is that maybe you guys need a job that just brings a lot of money into
something lucrative.
Gang.
We have no money.
That's right. You're completely broke right now. Maybe you should tell me where you're going to look. Maybe this is Juliet's way of thinking, and Juliet should go out and find an opportunity.
Sure. Well, perhaps that is in seeking out Ekeprag, because I know someone who is always able to acquire money every time that we visited. I don't know, maybe an invitation goes out to Ekeprag to come to meet us somewhere.
Essentially, you've just been like, here, Ross, you come up with the hook.
With a business opportunity. No, but I just want to also bring in the introduction of us as well.
Great. And is this the kind of thing where I could just like come up with something, or do you have something cooking?
Well, let me tell you something. I always have things cooking, but I also really love it when players come up with the next mission. I have 3 players that I trust to do that, and so I know it will work out well.
Okay, great. So where do you invite them?
Let's go to T. Valkos, are you coming?
I'm currently kind of finding out some more information on Flint.
Oh, okay. So I'll invite Ekeprag to tea.
Great.
And besides, if I go to tea with you guys, I think I'll stand out like a sore thumb, just this big hunch guy just on the table. Like.
Well, let's set up that tea, but let's go ahead and follow Valkos briefly and find out how it sounds like a gather information role about Flint.
And I think I'm gonna be using my prowl to sort of actually look and try and move around unseen, to try and find out more information on this guy, because I think beating him up or being loud is probably not the best idea right now when you're trying to gather information on someone. So that's my feeling.
I think so too. So, the old house, also in 6 Towers, that Flint operates out of. People come here, and he has cabinets full of spirit jars, and in those spirit jars are souls, and those souls have been labeled, cataloged, alphabetized according to their abilities, their level of coherence, meaning how sentient they are versus how feral they've become. And that he is making special trips. Somehow he's selling to the Path of Echoes, and that's not okay. That's your patron. That's the person who should be buying from you. So, he has an old house here in 6 Towers. Are you kind of staking it out? Are you sneaking in? How are you gathering this information?
I'm going to try and sneak in.
Very good. Go ahead and roll your prowl, and I'm going to say that this is just gathering information, so I'm going to say you would do this very carefully. Controlled for standard effect.
3.
A 3 is your... So, Valkos, You think probably you should have taken someone who's a little better with security measures. You sneak into an upper room. You trip over a wire Flint has set up. A bunch of like clanging sounds go off in the house, and you start hearing a bunch of footsteps headed towards you up the stairs.
Oh my god, I'm going to use my prowl again to try and hide.
Okay, very good. Go ahead and roll. This is now risky for standard effect.
Oh my god.
A failure.
Oh dear.
Okay, so they pull you out, and it's a lot of guys. They pull you out from behind a cabinet, and Flint is there, and he's an old man, and he's hunched over, and he looks like an old miser. He has an ample little gut that kind of hangs off the front of him, but the rest of him is skinny. And he's like, well, what have we here? A Severosi thief come to steal my darlings, my little soul flies, eh? Huh? Do I have your sister, maybe your lover or your father in one of my jars, huh? That's often who comes to try to take from old Flint.
And I'm like, I look at him and I'm like, do I look like the kind who steals?
No, you look built for violence.
Yes. Pure, unadulterated violence.
Well, let me tell you something, young man. Old Flint, he can do violence himself, yes? And I don't even have to be there when it happens.
Tell me, why are you selling these spirits?
Because I like money.
Yes, but surely there is more of a reason than just money. There must be something that you're trying with the Path of Echoes. It's quite a particular crowd to be selling to, don't you think?
The Path of Echoes. Yes, I think I know who you mean.
Yeah.
They have a very rarefied taste in souls. Always looking for something very particular. Yes. I don't ask questions. I simply move product.
I'm wondering, perhaps, seeming as I am aware of my current predicament, maybe I could help you in some way, shape, or form.
No, I don't think so. You've walked in a place you're not allowed to be in, and
yes, I know.
I'm going to give you the option to exit immediately or face a consequence.
How many people are around me?
Let me go ahead and roll. There are 8.
That's a lot.
And are you telling me that there is okay. All right, fine. I'll be like,
I missed this.
I'll be like, you're right. I should leave. A wise man once told me that. No, who the fuck am I kidding? And I sort of just throw these 2 people off me and I go to walk outside the door. But as I do, I'm going to try and pickpocket Flint.
Okay, great. I'll allow that. So go ahead and pickpocket him. I think what action are you going to use for that?
Finesse.
Yes. Okay. Give it a shot. Let's see. These rolls have been going so well so far.
What is it now?
This is risky for standard effect. A 5. Okay. Success with a consequence. I'm going to rule that you get a key out of his pocket. The only problem is this place is filled with locked cabinets. You're not sure exactly which one it goes to. That'll be your consequence.
Okay, that's fine.
And he says as you're heading towards the stairs, out the way you came in. And he points to a window.
I kind of look back and I'm like, are you serious?
I can't let you see my entire operation.
Right. Do I know
Tell
what room
Celiac I say hi, by the way.
do I know what room these glasses are in?
Yeah, I mean, you're in a room with a bunch of locked cabinets. Like, you assume that he's holding them in here.
I'm going to start demolishing the place.
Oh,
Okay.
I mean,
Jared, the way you said okay.
damn, dude.
I mean, listen, you got to play your character.
No, you know what? That's it. I've got to.
No, don't pull back if you don't want to.
No,
you can
I'm
do
just
this.
thinking because I can't actually see if there's any souls or any spirits around. Like
They're in like these beautiful lacquered cabinets that he shuts up tight that
is
seem
the thing,
impossible to pull out of the building, and you need a key to open them.
You know what? When he says Celiac's name, I kind of stop a bit. Fuck. I'm gonna procure the key and look at him and be like, I wonder what this opens.
All right, take that back from him. Get it for me.
Now, did I see where his eyes go or anything? Did I notice anything?
Interesting. I need an action.
Oh, wow.
Okay. It would probably be... Oh, God. I've got no
like
insight,
that.
but it wouldn't be study.
No, I don't know that it would be. You know, I mean, the action that comes immediately to mind, and you do not have to use this. You can use any action you want, but the one that comes immediately to mind is survey.
Okay. But would it be... can I argue?
Yeah.
Finesse?
Absolutely.
Because it employs subtle misdirection or sleight of hand. So the idea of... And... Okay.
I'll allow it, yeah.
I'm going to do that. And it's going to be... What is the proposition?
Desperate.
Okay.
Desperate. You're going to take harm from these 8 guys if you mess this up. And it's for great effect. You'll see where his eyes go.
6.
Yes.
His eyes go directly to one of the, non-extraordinary, non-exceptional cabinets in a long row of them, but his eyes go directly toward it. You remember that it's the third one in from the door.
Okay, great. He might change the lock. So can I go straight for it and try and open it?
Oh my god.
Meanwhile, Ekeprag and Juliet are having tea somewhere. I thought we would quickly do a gather
in progress.
I should have known that you can't do a quick gather information roll with Abu. Yes, you may. You may run, and you're gathering a lot of information here. You slide the key into the locker. You opening the door?
Yes.
It opens. This cabinet has a single jar in it. You can see that the jar is very carefully locked tight with additional kind of chains and things keeping it in there. And inside, for just a brief moment, you see a woman's form sort of dancing in the snow for just a moment.
So then...
Before the guys just start tackling you.
Well, if they go to try to tackle me, can I raise a fist to the glass and be like, any sudden movements and I break this?
You need an action to convince them.
Okay, I'm going to use command.
Okay, command. Desperate for standard effect. If you fail this, they're going to start beating the hell out of you.
Okay. Can I can't push myself. Can I push myself?
You're not in a score, so
Right.
I'm going to, but yes, you can. You can.
No.
It's free play. I'll allow it.
Okay.
Gaining stress and downtime. That's our status quo.
Yeah. Success with a consequence. The consequence is I think the consequence is that Flint hates you now.
Okay.
And Flint is going to be actively pursuing Valkos all over Six Towers until Flint is taken care of. The Remnant have not just a rival; they have an enemy.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm just
But
gonna leave it.
right now, these guys all stop. They don't tackle you.
And I kind of look at him and I'm like, now that I have your attention and we seem to be at a stalemate, it seems that this lady is of care to you.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Yes.
Just
I
another.
think you do. Tell me, do you know what else I really enjoy doing?
No.
I know. Well, you're about to find out. And I smash the glass!
Okay.
This is nuts.
He screams and runs to the jar. He doesn't care if you're going to hurt him or anything like that. He wants to push his way in, and he screams, "Galina!" This like weird kind of golden wisp sort of floats out of the jar and is kind of hovering around the ceiling. He's like, get her now! And his men some are tangling with you, and some are pulling these lightning hooks off of a wall to try to capture her. You've created a lot of chaos. Do you want to exit, or do you want to hang out and have this go on for a while longer?
No, this is exactly what I wanted to do. And as I leave, I go and I'll be like, I'll tell Celiac you said hello, and then run.
I respect everything you did, but there's no way this is exactly what you were planning on. Well, you've gathered information for sure. You just gathered it the hardest way possible. That might not be your next score, but you have created an enemy. Meanwhile, in a tea house, not too far away, let's meet Ekeprag.
Ekeprag, I am so glad you could come.
Well, if it isn't Juliet Bell Rose, so Bona Tavada.
Oh my god!
I'm in love.
Look at your pretty little leak. It's been far too long since you came round my way. Looking a bit less tear-streaked than I saw you last time, darling.
Yes, sir. Some time has passed indeed, and it fills me with some warmth to see you again. Good memories associated. I do remember, though, each time we would visit, our pocketbooks always were a little less full when we left. Don't worry, there's no grudge upon it.
Look,
Rather,
you know what they say about my place of business. You can lose all your money in there, darling, but you always leave with a smile.
too true.
Seems to me you've been smiling quite a bit less lately. My condolences, by the way.
Thank you. Yes.
Where have you been hiding yourself?
I've been doing business with a crew of sorts. That's why I called you, actually. Would you be interested perhaps in working together in a even more nefarious way?
Even more nefarious. Now you have the attention of Ekeprag Wodi, my dear.
Oh my god!
You asking if I've got to bone a little job for you? Or do you have...
Well, Mr. Wodi. Well, do you have any limits, per se? Is there anything that you Is there a line you would not cross?
Now you sound like one of my clients, darling. Let's say I like to push against the limits. Juliet Belrose.
I expected no less. Well, we have several prospects ahead of us. Some of them involve the elimination of certain people.
Well, that's
But
very dangerous talk, isn't it?
It is. It is. I would want to make sure that we got the most that we could get out of that situation, and I know that you would be the one to help us make sure that we did.
Intriguing. You know, I just so happen to have something that you might be interested in.
Oh, please do tell.
Round the club, got a bit of a regular coming in. Dowager, sweet old lady. Packed pockets, heavy handbag. Beautiful place. Only seen it a couple of times. Not a child, not a family. But a good many valuables if there was someone to slip in and move the product.
And what of her temperament?
But, we have our ways of warming her up. I think he's describes that like a regular has been coming around the club, flashing money around, and she's like has really like rarefied tastes. And the rumor going around the club is that like she is just like stacked, has a lot of money, and if you could work that angle, and like people and people around the club have tried to like get close, become her sort of regular courtesan, but she never gets close enough for that to happen. But and maybe Jared could jump in with like, I don't know, like the sort of neighborhood, but this is definitely like a noble or someone.
Oh yeah.
Who's,
well, you know, the crew hasn't spent enough time in their hunting ground. I think that this woman is very connected. In fact, I think that she has a home in that Holy of Holies, White Crown.
White Crown.
Yes. And I think that she has a name, and that is Victoria Song. Victoria Song.
All right. So she would not miss it, should something go missing. It sounds like she has more than one could possibly need on their own.
A good old-fashioned breaking and entering.
It's just basic and
love
simple
it.
breaking and entering. Yeah.
And knowing us, it'll stay simple and basic.
Yeah, be sure to take Valkos along.
I love it. I love it. I would love for you to come back with me and meet my crew if you would be so obliging.
If you've got the money, then I've got the time.
Well, the money depends on the job well done, so to speak. But this one seems like it will prove to be quite valuable, indeed.
Oh. And I suppose we'll just see that it is then. And Ekeprag Wodi will follow you to the grotto. And I think like and it's the kind of, as you depart, like ostentatiously takes a coin out and like slips it down on the table and shouts to the proprietor, like, Wonderful, darling. Thank you. See you next time. And like kind of slaps the table, and as he turns, like winks at you, and you can see that like the coin that he placed down has been palmed and replaced with just like a couple of washers and a rock.
Yeah. Oh my god.
Very good. So back in the grotto, you can plan this burglary, but perhaps you should exchange notes with Valkos, who has had his own adventure.
Yeah, I'm like, you can just see me pulling like glass out of my knuckles. Just.
That's a first impression right there.
Yeah. Valkos, our latest addition to the crew.
Oh, we've met. You've been round the club the past couple weeks.
I have.
Really?
You should know. You spent the evening with me, darling.
I have.
Voice was a bit different, though. It didn't have as much, as many pretty boner gems in your llamas there.
Valkos.
Yes. Well, hello. My name's Valkos. And what's your name?
The name's Ekeprag Wodi, my dear.
And tell me, Ekeprag Wodi, was I screaming your name or were you screaming mine?
Oh, trust me, Valkos. There was a lot of screaming, but not all of it, or most of it, was, shall we say, articulate.
I like him.
Yeah.
The feeling's mutual, darling. More than mutual. Lovely place you've got here. And he's like looking around the
just
grotto.
standing between this, like, what the fuck?
And lovely company. Lovely company. Looking over in the corner, just like a skeleton man who's like...
Yeah. Wait. This is the part where we tell Ross Bryant that he has to now have a conversation with himself.
Right. and yeah, from the shadows, he's like, is Miss Belrose brought us then an opportunity? Like, oh, is that what she's brought then? Well, I brought you something, but is this the crew that's gonna get it done then?
This is the crew. This one, he should rest. This is where you come in to help us. Valkos, as you are familiar, it sounds like, is very able-bodied and capable in the fighting arts.
Speaking of fighting,
Yes, what happened?
I paid a visit to Flint.
What?
Yes, I tried to procure more information.
How did it go?
Well, I got information, but he's also, let's just say, he knows that we're after him.
Oh, God, Valkos, every time!
Hey, it worked. I know more about him than he probably knows more about himself.
Oh, really?
Yes.
So we have to kill Flint. We have to kill this man. We have to kill this man, but we have no money. And there is a very wealthy dowager in White Crown that Ekeprag has brought to our attention that could be very lucrative for us. But we have to kill Flint because why? What did you learn in exchange for this?
Well, he's selling spirits to the Path of Echoes.
Yes.
And there's one particular spirit that he cares deeply about. There was a look quite similar to yours.
Oh.
And it seems that this one, well, that may be our way in. Obviously, when our brother here is better, it may be something interesting to do. Anyway, all I'm saying is, I got information, just not as I thought I would.
Okay. So, Miss Victoria Song it is then, perhaps? We can
Yes.
fill our pockets first before more awaits us ahead.
And I look to Ekeprag and I'm like, what's your cut?
Well, seems now we're getting around to division of labour. And I suppose that all depends on how we're going about it, doesn't it, Valkos? So if this is a slip-in sort of situation, and it seems to me that sort of rests within my purview. So I should think that the percentages should reflect that, don't you?
Careful, Ekeprag. My people love loyalty, live for loyalty. And those who are not loyal, those who wish to not split or be equal, are treated as such, not equal. So, whether you do most of the labor or I do most of the labor, it is split equally.
Well, what about him then? It's like, I shall aid you in whatever way I can from the shadows. It's like, does that get a cut also?
He is part of this family.
Very well.
Yes.
Loyalty is in short supply in Duskval nowadays.
I can tell
long
you
as
this.
You
Oh,
pat
I'm so
my
sorry.
back, I'll pat yours.
I'm sorry to interrupt you. I
Again?
can tell you this. You think that this score is worth 8 coin if you can get all the valuables out of that house.
All right.
That's a tremendously gigantic amount, which would give you enough to fill up your vault. Not your vault. You don't have a vault yet, but to fill up your cachet that the crew gets, and then each of you to hold a coin.
Right.
Listen. Don't be too hasty with your criticism. You've made your points. I think all of us will have a part to play. If we're going to get it all out, and there is, a fantabulous amount of riches in this little manse, Valkos. And even if we split this 4 ways, we'll all get our pretty pound, won't we?
What a fantabulosa way of putting it.
Great, then we understand each other. It's like just like a gentle hand on your hand, kind of looking around.
Well, I love that everybody is in agreement, and that our next score is a classic B&E. I have to figure out what the twist is, because it feels like Ross Bryant was like, "There's an old lady. She doesn't have anybody else in the house."
This sort of, it's like, yeah. If anyone can make a seemingly harmless situation turn into a deranged horror show, I'm certain that Jared
Right?
Logan will find a way.
Hey, you know what? I bet I don't have to do much with this crew. I bet you guys will turn it into a horror show on your own.
It's gonna go sideways no matter what. Juliet is going to approach Ekeprag and sort of flick the hand off of Valkos's. Say, "You will not do your work over my crew. We work together. You do not work to swindle us. Is that understood?"
Oh, yes. I've heard how you treat some... Well... Word gets around how, people who've been involved with this crew, how disloyalty is repaid.
Indeed.
Got nothing to worry about from me.
I look forward to it.
Cut to a house that Valkos would be familiar with, somewhere in Six Towers.
Oh boy.
As old Flint, there's like screaming coming from the jar as he finally clamps the lid down. And he looks at his men and he goes, I want you to find them. And I want each of them put in one of my jars. I want their souls, damn it! Their souls! And his men raise their lightning hooks, which crackle a little bit. And that is where we will leave it for today. We will be back next time with a classic B&E score. And I have to make an old lady scary somehow. I'll figure it out. It's going to be amazing. Thank you guys for just an amazing downtime, which ended up being part score anyway. Thank you, Josephine, McAdam, Abu, Salim, and Ross Bryant. You guys were amazing yet again. Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Holy moly.
Guys, Glass Cannon Naish, we'll be back in 1 week, and we will see you there. Until then, happy heists and scores. I hope you steal all kinds of things at home. All right. Bye-bye.